Okay, I have to admit it, I lied to you. For you see, you think of me as a friendly Balkan man. However, my first ever job was of a lumberjack, and unfortunately, on my very first day at work, we got attacked by massive spiders. Honestly, it was gruesome, I will spare you the details. But, as my 5-year-old eyes closed for the very last time, I woke up in the Balkans in the 90s. Truly, a fate worse than death. Yes, I reincarnated from another world, and I'm going to be honest, I feel a bit nostalgic for the good old days of jacking lumber. Luckily for me, I can get a second chance with Realms of Exeter, the greatest Victoria 3 mod, which perfectly simulates my home world. A place of magic, wonder, and real racism, unlike the Balkan fake racism. Today we're playing as my home nation of Virea, because I've always wondered which is stronger, magic, the most powerful force in Realms of Exeter, or the strongest force on Earth, corporate greed. Let's find out. Now we also own the Virean Icebreaker Company, who are hard at work colonizing the North Pole so they can strip all of their icicle goodies. Genuinely, ice is mainly used as a luxury item by the rich, which means we definitely need more of it. Can you imagine if the wealthy people in the Association of Icebreaker Fleets can't have a cold ice cube in their fancy cocktail, Orphan Tears? Personally, I don't want to live in a world like that. Now we might not be the biggest faction, but we are definitely the coolest one. And we are ruled by our president, Darquis Karanis, an artificer baron, which means he endorses laissez-faire. Legally speaking, we look pretty good. However, our main goal is to enact a plutocracy, which is a government ruled by a cabal of rich business moguls, and the head of state is normally the most influential businessman in the nation, selected by wealth, connections, or status. Looking at the world market, there's plenty of business opportunities to be exploited to our benefit. For those of you who are unaware, there's a plethora of new and exciting resources we can add to our supply chain, allowing us to hire mages and artificers, which will drastically increase our production output of chairs and other stuff. Obviously, my favorite magic resource is Jarro Piss. Not only do they increase agricultural output, but we can also give it to the miners so they can have more strength and give us more coal and all other mineable goods, making kids actually useful in the mines. That's right, if your child is too weak to work, just give them performance enhancing drugs. God bless the magical industry. Now obviously there's plenty of work for adventurers as well, hunting magical beasts and delivering fabrics and silk. It is a dangerous job, but if it was possible for us to simply grow silks and fabrics, that would be an insanely good incentive to enslave people and have them work there. But that's not how it works. Hunting beasts, that's what makes a true Vailarian a Vailarian. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Now we don't have a noticeable impact on the fantasy world market, but this will definitely change by the end of the video. In order to get there, we have to give investment rights and other privileges to our main corporation. Our society is mainly peasants, but this will definitely change. I believe we should start by expanding in the North Pole. I mean, look at these savages. 1% literacy? Gross. I'll put them out of their misery and teach them how to mine ice. Hey, wait a minute, these guys are an Arcan vassal. Get out of my North Pole, stinking mage bastards. It belongs to me, and my ally wants to join the Pole War. I'll take it. The adventurer class. Oh no, there's very few adventurers. Is it because no one wants to work with the bear people? I mean, I get it, they're bear people. Disgusting. However, we're getting a bigger adventurer coverage in exchange for giving them more political strength. Supply and demand, I guess, which we definitely have to balance, because I wasn't expecting a massive war at the very beginning. I really hope that we'll be able to balance the budget and not go into debt, because let me tell you, performing Thunder Breathing First Form, Thunderclap and Flash 6-fold is a pretty hard maneuver to pull off with 2 broken kneecaps. And I'll tell you from experience, without being able to perform such basic moves, you will never be able to survive the Spider Forest. I'm just saying, fantasy loan sharks don't mess around. Now am I saying all of this because the Dumonian Empire capitulated, making this war very easy, and I simply wanted to raise the stakes? Yeah, anyway, we managed to win a pretty difficult fight. And now to feed these colonies to my favorite corporation. Oh crap, the other two provinces are still colonies. Alright then, I guess we'll give it to them at some point in the future. Alright, my kneecaps are safe. We should definitely get a magical focus. I'm going to choose Artificer Guilds, which will give us 2% magical industry throughput per level of institution. Also, we're going to start getting some investment rights to expand our faction and make money. Fantasy Romanians? No way. Well, there you go guys. If the Fantasy Romanians are willing to immigrate to our country, the economy is definitely going well. We should definitely get more construction sectors. And we should also pacify all of the snow savages. They're starting to invent reading. That's not good. Alright, now we have a magical institution and also enough arcana to play a magical card. As the Vairians, we have access to the Griffin and the Kraken. The Griffin definitely seems more war-orientated, and the Kraken gives you stuff like fish. Woo! Definitely the best one. Wait a minute. Max Trade Center tax. The Kraken is definitely the best one. I'll take it. Now I wish to address the failing religious school system. As you're all probably aware, there's been a series of brutal monster attacks. And I know there's been a lot of misinformation, such as rich corporations are orchestrating these in an attempt to take over the education system. Personally, I find such conspiracy theories to be highly unlikely. Breaking news! We have to pacify evil savages in order to expand shareholder value. I'm sorry guys. This demands my full attention. Whew, that was very hard. I'm sure that after transferring the management of these unruly lands to our favorite icebreaker company, all the shareholders will also get hard. Classic shareholders. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Wait a minute, the company is using slaves instead of laborers? Yes, well, breaking news. We're signing an investment agreement with Arador. I'm sorry guys, these negotiations demand my undivided attention. And just look at our icebreaker company investing in mint tea. You guys love mint tea, don't you? It goes very well with some ice cubes. But we should probably encourage some exports and increase shareholder value. Alright, I know what you guys are thinking. If the Vairian icebreaker company has debt slavery, does that mean that they're actually our frozen gulag? Now I would like to mention that we do not border our allies, because there's this little strip of land occupied by some hippie elves, which we can't colonize unless we invent flamethrowers. And the school reforms are done. What do you mean this doesn't answer the question about the North Pole pedophile ring conspiracy theory? You guys still talking about this? It's been talked about for decades now. It's so boring. We should definitely enact censorship and make sure that we talk about more important topics, such as the desperate need of construction sectors. Why doesn't anyone talk about this? It's ridiculous. Oh no, we can't build railroads. We actually have to build fantasy railroads. But before we can do that, we have to invent fantasy train engines. That's not good. And it will definitely take a while. Book burnings. Whoa. What just happened? And why didn't I think of that? We definitely need state-run book burnings. And we're also starting to produce airships. Hell yeah. We're the 4th largest producers, and we can certainly dominate the sector. Arador wants to participate in our very lucrative market. You know what? I'll think about it. Breaking news, the government has just announced that they shall not release any pedophile files. It makes sense. Darkwiz Karanis is old. He doesn't participate in things like that anymore. Anyway, I would like to make the mages happy and get their bonuses. That's why we're going to enact a starbound bureaucracy. Also, I just noticed we're producing furs, which is a fancy type of fabric. That's pretty cool. We should encourage export exports and increase shareholder value. It seems that in addition to ice, our company also organizes hunting raids. See that, guys? They're not some slave drivers who force people to mine ice in excruciatingly cold weather or force them to work in plantations in extremely cold weather. They also organize dangerous raids in extremely cold weather. You should definitely invest at your earliest convenience. Fantasy engines, soon we can have fantasy trains, my favorite type of trains. And we're ready to sign a trade deal with Arador, which will surely pump shareholder value. You guys invested in the company, right? I mean, I would hate for you to go bankrupt and be forced to work for the company in perfectly normal and humane conditions, of course. Also, it's time for us to make a bunch of deals with our neighbors, because unfortunately, the Aradorian faction is gaining on us. The corporate wars have definitely begun, and we have a brand new journal entry. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. However, I believe it has something to do with a brand new adventure system. That's right, we get to hire an expert adventurer. He shall organize a party of brave heroes to explore all ancient ruins, uncovering secrets and technologies for all to use, and definitely not take $1 million and disappearing. Surely. Oh, what's this? My ally is requiring help to commit murder. You guys know me, I never miss an opportunity to make money. This goes against my religion. I mean, not really, but it sounds better than I've killed for less. So, hopefully we can still be friends with our neighbors and expand our corporate reach. Fantasy trains? Oh my god, the Chinese government would kill for such trains. I mean, they've killed for less, but they also love train, so it wouldn't surprise me. Also, we're having a defensive pact with Arador, so we can safeguard our corporate interests. Alright, now we get 2.5% construction efficiency. That's pretty cool. We should also get free trade. Also, we can finally utilize all the mages, so we can make even more chairs. They're perfect for the job. Not only that, but we're having a brand new magical labor-saving production method, which we desperately need, because this whole adventure business is really eating away at our population. Now, I do realize that the game had some birth rate buffs. However, in realms of Exeter, there's plenty of hazardous jobs, and usually you would get a net negative on the population front. Alright boys, it's training time. Woo! Also, we should conquer some more savages. What if they get themselves killed whilst adventuring without profiting us? That would be terrible. It's also time for us to increase our corporate reach. Remember guys, the company always pays a copious amounts of hazard pay to all of its CEOs, because they have to manage dangerous situations from their yachts. So if you want hazard pay, you know what to do. That's right, join the next expansion and climb the corporate ladder. No government regulation. Nice. Alright, I'm definitely getting a fat bonus for this one. They back down. Nice. Wait a minute, Cold Reach Valley? Do you guys mean corporate property? That's way more accurate. We should also enact poor laws and shove all the poor people in work camps, which is definitely not forced labor for the poor by game logic, even though practically that's what they were, but anyway, corporate profits increased. I'm definitely signing myself a bonus and an extra mansion. And you know what? I'm gonna treat myself. I also want a big yacht. And I'm honestly thinking we should start spelling the word yacht as yacht, just to confuse the poor. Now I wish to dispel some rumors that the Vyrian Icebreaker Company has colonial exploitation. They don't. They actually have no colonial affairs. We should definitely give them colonial exploitation. Look at the money go. Ka-ching! We definitely need even more construction. Also, we're gonna make some friendly deals with the orcs to our south. Listen guys, I'm not looking to exploit them because of the color of their skin. I'm looking to exploit them for profits. More fantasy Romanians? Man, what is going on in the fantasy Balkans? Oh, the fantasy Balkan war. Classic fantasy Balkans. We definitely need to cooperate with the fantasy Romanians because they seem to be winning. happening. A second Fantasy Balkan War. Alright guys, we have to get involved. Clearly, that's what the region needs. I mean, there's another great power meddling in my affairs. The Dragon Isles. Now we seem to be winning, but once they arrive in force, wait a minute, they have 800 army points, whilst we have 4000. Oh my god, if we manage to win, I definitely deserve a bonus. The Adventurer Scout program, adventurers in Virea have begun enlisting children as young as 11 in apprenticeship programs to help deal with the monster problem. You know, back in my day, you didn't need to be 11 in order to risk your life for profits. Government regulation has clearly gone too far, and we occupied the Dragon capital. Poor laws, it definitely needs a revamp. And we can also use Cloud Silver to make more steel. That's pretty cool. And there you go guys, we managed to fix the Fantasy Balkans. Nothing bad will ever happen here ever again. Surely. And now Fantasy Romania is also ready to join the Association of Icebreaker Fleets. Stonks. Alright, now we can get a brand new company and we can start producing a plethora of new and exciting prestigious goods such as icebreaker ships. That's pretty cool. However, I simply can't resist performance enhancing drugs. I'm sorry guys, I just have to take them. Am I cosplaying as a rich CEO or what? We can also get another Arcana card, and this time I choose International Misinformation Campaigns, which will give us more influence and infamy decay. I mean Whispers of the Wandering Winds. Yeah, that's what I meant. Alright, we're having a severe labor shortage, which means we have to allow women to work with their kids if they survive, because let me tell you, being an adventurer scout at the age of 11 isn't easy. And I just noticed we have a treaty port in Treidapak, which has a special plant made out of coal. And let me tell you, I will never allow savages to stand between me and potential profits. They backed down. A wise choice. Also, they have a goldfish, which is a fish made out of gold. That's a pretty cool fish. Now I wish to address the racism allegations against our corporation. I know they have prevented many of you from investing. However, we're finally a multicultural corporation. That's right, we have blue people. Exploit them equally. That's what I always say. Pollution level 1, this is definitely an omen. And it also makes some of our interest groups a bit more majophobic. For those of you who are unaware, magical industry generates pollution and destroys the veil integrity, which is practically the planet's health bar. Now, just like real life pollution, it's not fully implemented just yet, so we're not gonna stop making money on the planet's expense. Nitroglycerin, finally! All the children who decided to escape to the mines for safety will now experience the same amount of hazard rating as the adventure scouts. You guys know me, I always advocate for equal mortality rate. What can I say guys, I love all children equally. And now we're going to add lead to our Jarro piss in order to create luxury potions, which are very healthy. All the rumors about metallic taste, appetite and memory loss, diarrhea and headaches are merely rumors. Promise. Water tube boilers, alright. We can have all the most modern, labor-saving production methods. As you can clearly see, we have 8 unemployed blokes. But after switching all the production methods, we now have 29,000. Well, there you go guys. The mortality rate isn't too high. Stop complaining about it. Alright, and now we have 2 random savage tribes to join the Association of Icebreaker Fleets, who definitely know how to read and know what they're signing. Unlocking the final 4th pillar. Women can finally get a job. We really need to ramp up our construction. Jesus. Surely, the Fantasy Romanians have just declared the Fantasy Balkan War to end all Fantasy Balkan Wars. Now we have to get involved to safeguard corporate interests. We also have a brand new president, Pekat Drapsi, an industrialist man who is ready to usher in a new age of plutocracy. Everyone's favorite age. And before I forget, Shirley, I'm ducking your pay. You had one job. Keep national tensions low. Make sure everyone gets what they want. Promote cooperation through our corporation. And avoid a war of of ethnic cleansing. Literally, one job. Women. Am I right, guys? And we managed to consolidate all of the fantasy Balkan peoples under one nation. Why didn't the real Balkans ever think of that? What a bunch of idiots. I definitely deserve a bonus for this one. Our neighbors are willing to join us, and of course, it's time for us to get our final pillar, so we can help our companies. Just look at this throughput bonus. Jaropis is practically flying off the factories. We're now the 4th largest producer. We just have to keep it up, and soon Fantasy Red Bull will flood the market. Alright, now I know what you guys are thinking. If the most influential businessman is in charge of our country, and he is Pekat Drapsi, the next logical step is to give the healthcare system to Megacorp. That's right, our frozen capitalist utopia has been run by the Megacorp Fantasy branch this whole time. And your favorite refreshments have been produced by Megacorp Fresh. Did you actually believe that reincarnating in another world would allow you to escape Megacorp's reach? God damn it, Shirley, why did you let a child run the Balkans? Classic Shirley. It's time for us to start investing in the Balkans. They clearly have too many people on their hands, and we can definitely use the monster essence. Okay, this is huge. The Megacorp scientists have finally designed the perfect formula and created sleep in a bottle. Remember kids, you don't need sleep, you need to fulfill your quotas, or else. Megacorp. And all we had to do was add sulfur to the potions. Genius! If you experience drooling, fever, speech problems, vomiting with blood, those are clear signs you have taken the right potion. Coughing, nausea, vomiting? Pay us. Megacorp. Alright guys, you know me, I love democracy, as long as I can pay to get the results I want. And finally we can open a brand new Megacorp branch. Wait a minute, we can also expand in the Balkans. Well, that's new and exciting. I'll take it. Now clearly, hunting monsters is a big, lucrative business. Listen here guys, the brand new Megacorp branch is determined to keep you safe from all the evil monsters. Pay us the most, or your kids will be toast. Megacorp. And we managed to perfect our performance enhancing drugs. Now I know some of you are questioning the ingredients that we're using, but still, drink one with a friend if you wanna pay the rent. Megacorp. And by opening these brand new lead mines, we managed to increase shareholder value quite significantly. And we're desperate for more workers. God, what keeps killing them? I just don't get it. In order to generate more profits, I truly believe we should give higher doses of our lead phosphorus highly addictive performance enhancing drug to all of our employees, not just the children. You gotta try it at least once. Megacorp. Now if that doesn't work, we can always attack Fantasy China. Wait a minute, they have only the 2nd largest population. All my profits. Fantasy Yugoslavia is the most populous country on the planet now. We should definitely lower their autonomy. What the dickens? Ravik is attacking one of my guys. We just have to get involved. We'll fucking kill you. Megacorp. You know, having Megacorp security participate in another war of ethnic cleansing in the Fantasy Balkans sounds like Shirley's fault. Classic Shirley. Remember guys, if you are a Megacorp employee, your voting rights are guaranteed if you pay for it. And we also managed to reach the 2nd stage of pollution, which allows us to colonize previously uncolonizable lands. See that guys? The planet itself wants us to conquer it for profits. We should definitely keep doing what we're doing. What could possibly go wrong? And look at this mountain of cash. We definitely have to completely max out all of our construction. The Conservative Party managed to win the popular vote, but thanks to our constitution, the rich people get to be in charge. God, I love the constitution. Remember guys, your income belongs to Megacorp. Also, look at this aggressive industrialization. The planet will definitely appreciate this level of development. And we also managed to unlock fantasy private jets. Now that's what I'm talking about. We are victorious, and we managed to stick a finger up Ravik's lake. Money? Oh my god, it's beautiful. And of course I promised the industrialists colonial exploitation. And you guys know me, I always keep my promises. And look at that, the profits just keep on coming. Now I'm going to max out the construction in every province, even though some of them don't have the population. I don't care. Look at the reforms go. And now introducing our brand new product. That's right, we've heard your concerns about harming nature in order to extract monster essence whilst destroying destroying the environment. However, this brand new, refined monster essence has been extracted without using violence. We keep them coming, Megacorp. Once we decrease Fantasy Yugoslavia's autonomy, we can start heavily investing in logging camps. Listen guys, I know that cutting lumber can be quite dangerous, but by God, we need the wood. And you can definitely tell when we started investing. Such is the power of Megacorp. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Isn't it a bad idea that Fantasy Yugoslavia is run by a child? She's actually 35. Oh my god guys, this is just like all your favorite animes. And yes, of course, all the rumors about pedophile rings were unsubstantiated. They were all like 35. Promise. Now the actually important thing is, we don't have enough manpower to man all of our construction sectors, which is devastating the economy. I can't just sit here and watch as the rich people are unable to spend their money. I have to murder the fantasy Chinese and steal all of their labor. Arador offers to join, why not? Okay, so here's the plan. As Arador is distracting the Dumonian Empire, we're going to plow through the Chinese and take as much of their land as we physically can. I mean, they seem to be losing a different war, but we definitely have the magical power, so this one should be easy. Also, we're going to switch from external trade to internal trade so we can get more company throughput and prepare for the next phase of world market domination. Currently, we are top exporters, but this is not enough to satiate our corporate greed. And finally, one of the orc tribes is ready to join Megacorp. And we managed to win prime real estate for construction sectors. And of course, all of our population issues have now vanished. Hopefully we can finally invest our 10 million bucks. Hang on a minute, Arador just cancelled all of our agreements and they're calling themselves the #1 great power. Not only that, but they made my industrialists very angry. Once our truce expires, I'm going to monopolize all of their industries by force. The third level of pollution, just like real life pollution, it's not implemented just yet. However, I just started extracting oil. I mean God's blood, and I feel called out. Can we colonize any new places? Doesn't seem like it. Unfortunate. Now I wish to clarify, Megacorp does not discriminate. We'll take everyone's money. Now before we kickstart the corporate wars, this is our trade, and this is the company ranking. Soon we shall monopolize all Aradorian industries and take over the fantasy world market once and for all. We don't care, Megacorp. And now to calm down the situation, we shall enact strict migration controls. Megacorp would never allow evil immigrants to come here with their evil money. Gross. One of our guys is having a civil war. What a great opportunity. Hey, wait a minute. Arador just stole them from me. I'll kill you for this. And many other reasons. You stinking pieces of shit. Also, I've decided I shall accept the evil immigrant money. Honestly, I don't care. And it seems that Megacorp Fresh and Thunder Gear Industries are neck and neck. It's time for us to monopolize all of the industries we physically can and demand 200,000 buccarinos. Realistically, if we can defeat them now, we'll be truly unstoppable. Also, what just happened? Why are my demands not going through? It's probably just a visual glitch. Surely. Anyway, off to knocking out my enemies one by one. One down. You know what? We should probably invade Arador's capital. We do have airships, which means they can't possibly stop us. Hey, wait a minute, where's their army? Anyway, we shall monopolize all of their... Surely? Why do I sense a disturbance in the force? Classic Shirley. Alright, we're just gonna sit here and wait for them to capitulate. It's not as if they have a chance to win. Alright, let's see what we got. Jesus Christ, they're still spazzing out. Also, this doesn't feel like a complete list of all the monopolies I specifically requested. Well, that's a bit disappointing, but still, 200,000 buccarinos per week for the next 5 years will definitely bankrupt them. And monopolizing the potions, trade centers, and essence extraction will generate enough pollution to destroy the planet, which means we've practically won. Good job everybody, except Shirley. I'm definitely ducking your pay. Remember guys, Megacorp will exploit all of the resources, make all of the profits, and when the planet can't take it anymore, we'll simply reincarnate in another world and do it all over again. Classic Megacorp. And here's the fantasy world market, which has plenty of legendary prestigious goods which you can purchase if you visit Realms of Exeter. You have to visit at least once. Megacorp. Personally, my favorite one has to be Boar's Delight Potions, now with extra lead. Classic Boar's Delight. Now I know what you guys are thinking. That adventurer guy took $1 million and disappeared. Until next time.